Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to online English and German classes. Today, we will study the remaining part of uh, Lost Spring by Anis Jung. Lost Spring is the second chapter of Flamingo, class 12, book of NCERT. We have been discussing the plight of uh, bangle making families of Firozabad. To continue our discussion, a few more characters are left. So, beginning without wasting your and my time, Savita, a young girl in a drab pink dress, sits along an elderly woman soldering pieces of glass. Okay, so Savita is a young girl and she is she is wearing dull and boring dress, you can say, and she is sitting alongside elderly woman joining pieces of glass for making bangles, and her hands move like tons of a machine. You must have seen that the two hands of a crane or any machine or robot. It shows that she's very perfect at that. Okay, she's very expert at that work of welding pieces of glass. Okay, in bangle making profession. But the writer here raises a very important question. If she knows the sanctity of the bangles she helps make, we all can admire the Taj Mahal, but who admires thousands of laborers working day and night? Okay, the same way it is here, that does this girl, the writer raises the question, does this girl knows the religious value or religious importance of the bangles in Indian society, in Indian culture? So what is the cultural value, what is the religious value of bangles in Indian society? Let's discuss that. It symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag, auspiciousness in marriage. Okay, so that we all know, being Indians, we all know it represents an Indian woman's suhag, and suhag, all of us know, when an auspiciousness. It also represents that auspiciousness, I will say Hindi word, that shubh. Okay, so bangles are supposed to be they represent a woman's suhag in Indian culture, in Indian society, and it is the bangles are considered as shubh. Okay, good. Okay, religious point of view. Through religious point of view, it is considered very auspicious in marriage. Okay, so that the girl certainly doesn't know. That's my thinking, that young girl doesn't know that sanctity. Okay, uh, okay, it will dawn on her suddenly. Please underline the words dawn on. Okay, so it will dawn on her suddenly one day when her head is draped with a red veil, her hands dyed red with henna, and red bangles rolled onto her wrists. She will then become a bride. In Indian culture, okay, we all know, we are all familiar with this thing. It will dawn on her. Dawn on her means she will come to realize. The girl, the young girl right now doesn't know the sanctity, okay, or the holiness of bangles, okay, the auspiciousness of bangles, the importance of bangles. She doesn't know the religious value or the cultural value of bangles for a married woman, but soon she will know it. Soon means where? After a few years she will come to realize, okay, when she is draped with a red veil. Okay, here I remember how Minnie, the daughter of Rabindranath Tagore, when she becomes a bride, she has the same feelings. Okay, something like that. Okay, so draped in a red veil. So now red veil, veil, veil. Veil again here that it's in Hindi. If I should say it in Hindi for better understanding, ghungat. You must understand ghungat. So that is that lal ghungat is there, okay, or red veil is there. It is again very important for any Indian marriage. Okay, so that is also this also represents religious value or cultural value. Okay, and then another thing is there, henna is there or mehendi is there. Okay, and then bangles are there. Okay, when and here in Indian culture actually marriage, unlike other countries of the world, particularly western countries of the world, the family system, the family values, okay, the values of marriage in India we find like it is not comparable to any country of the world, right? Okay, okay. So when she will become a bride, so every girl in her heart she wants to become a bride one day. Okay, right. So like the old woman beside her who became one many years ago. Okay, this old woman who is sitting or by alongside that old woman Savita is sitting. So that old woman was also once bride. She also became bride one day. Okay, a man becomes a king for one day and the rest of his life. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so she still has bangles on her wrist, but no light in her eyes. Okay, still bangles are there. Why? So long as the husband is alive, an Indian woman will continue to wear bangles, and when the husband dies, so no bangles there, but no light in her eyes. So bangles uh, don't give anything. Ironically here, the bangles here don't promise anything to this old woman. No light in her eyes. She says, एक वक्त एक एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया. Such is her condition. So bangles don't make any difference. Money matters. She says in a voice drained of joy. So there is no expression of joy whether bangles are there or not, whether she is a suhagan, she is a married, she has a husband. Okay, so that is their plight. That is the condition. That is the plight of almost all the bangle making families of Firozabad. Okay, she has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire lifetime. Just pause and think, dear viewers. One one full meal in her entire lifetime. Do you understand this term? Okay, one full meal in her entire lifetime. Can you think what is this? There are people who cannot find poor people around whom to help. Okay, that's what she has reaped. So reaped is that what you sow, so shall you reap. What you invest, so shall you get. So they are investing, they are there in the family business of bangle making, and this is what they are getting in the family business. Not one full meal in her entire lifetime. Okay, so this is their investment. Her husband is an old man, and what he has achieved, he has been able to make a house for the family to live in. So that he has done at least. So hearing him, one wonders if he has achieved what many have failed in their lifetime, he has a roof over his head. Of course, this is the case. Not all the bangle making families in Firozabad has achieved this. So now the author asks those families, why don't you organize yourself into a cooperative? Now, dear readers, you must be familiar with cooperatives. Suppose we teachers are there teaching in a school, okay, so we can have our own cooperative means a part of our salary we can save in that cooperative, and when we need, whether that be for medical, for marriage, or for any other purpose, we can withdraw from that cooperative. That is a kind of bank for that particular group of workers, okay, that helps in need. You don't need to go out of your community of teachers. Just for example, I'm telling you, for your need, okay, like workers are there in any factory, so they can 300, 400, 500 workers are there, so they can have their own cooperative. They can save a part of their salary in that cooperative, and then in case of any need, they don't have to go to any middleman or any person to get loan from them and end up paying more than what they have got, okay, double the amount or triple the amount or 5 times the amount what they have got, okay. So a cooperative is that, okay. The farmers can have their own cooperative. They can save a part of their money in that committee. That will be a kind of bank, and the same process what I told you. So if what happens when they organize themselves into a cooperative, they are not allowed to organize themselves into cooperative. They are not organized to they are not allowed to depend on themselves. No. Why? Because for generations, for forefathers, fathers, and now this generation, so the 3 generations at least are trapped by these middlemen or bicholia who have trapped them, okay. And the writer calls it a vicious circle of middlemen. This is a very poisonous, very cruel, very dishonest and violent middlemen. That circle of middlemen, they have trapped them, okay. And whenever they try to organize themselves in these kind of cooperatives, then policemen are there, police are there. They have to maintain law and order. So police in our society maintain law and order. How? By targeting these kind of families, the poor and the downtrodden, the workers, the laborers, okay. And they are happy with that, they are proud, okay. So we know our administration. So there is no leader among them, no one who could help them see things differently, okay. So there isn't any leader who can show them the way out of their family business and out of their this kind of wretched life. Their fathers are as tired as they are. They talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy to greed and to injustice. Dear viewers, once again here the writer has used the word spiral. So spiral, two things. Spiral, of course, this is spiral, okay, which are the frames for designing, for making the shape of the, this is spirals, making the shape of the bangles. But here what the author means to say that, okay, very spiral. Here spiral is again an endless circle of something. Here the endless circle of sufferings. How? Moves from poverty to apathy. Apathy of whom? Society, the government, politicians, okay, and then greed to injustice. So how is that vicious cycle? A spiral that moves from poverty because they are poor. So because they are poor, so poverty to apathy. Because they are poor, so no government, no politicians take care of them. They ignore them. And why? Because the government or the politicians, they are or the money lenders, they are greedy, and then they end up meeting with injustice. Justice here in our society, what I have been for the last 42 years, I have been what I am experiencing. It's not for the poor, it's only for the privileged people, okay. So injustice. So this is from poverty to apathy to greed and to injustice. So one very famous line I remember from Irfan Khan's movie's name I have forgotten, okay. गरीब की रोटी पॉलिटिशियन खा जाते हैं और किसान का खेत बिल्डर ले लेता है. Now the poor are not left with anything, any options, okay? And if you try to dare out of that, what will happen? What will happen? That will be a crime. Thinking beyond these kind of things is a crime. So listening to them, I see two distinct worlds. One of the family caught in a web of poverty, burdened burdened by the stigma of caste in they are born. Okay, and second group of the people are there. The world is there. The policemen, the keepers of law, the bureaucrats, and the politicians. Okay, so two kinds of people are there. Two kinds of people are there. One kind of people, one of the family caught in a web of poverty. Now, what is web again? A web you can understand, a jal, okay, a complicated pattern of things that, okay, that are closely connected. And how is this web created? How is this jal or net created? Politicians, middlemen, police, so they create a kind of web the way spider does, so that these people never come out of that. They are not able to come out of that web made by these politicians and police and the middlemen. What more is there? And they are burdened by the stigma of caste. Apart from poverty uh, and shortage of food, they also suffer from stigma. What is stigma? I would like that Hindi meaning will convey the message in a proper way. Stigma here is a type of kalank or dhabba. Okay, it's social stigma, which feelings of disapproval and hatred, which the other privileged class of society look down at them with hatred. Okay, okay, no respect for their labor, no respect for their hard work. We happen to look at them with hatred, with disapproval. Okay, no respect for their hard work. Okay, and then there are others. Who are the other world? Other are the policemen, the keepers of law, and bureaucrats and politicians. Okay, they are all made for serving the privileged people. Okay, together they have imposed the baggage on the child that he can not put down. Okay, so together these classes together, the police, the keepers of law, okay, the bureaucrats and politicians, they have imposed. Now, what is imposed? Impose here again Hindi meaning I will say, so that it may convey the message. Thopna, to force somebody to do something unpleasant. You impose things which they want to come out of that, but you want to impose. No, you have to do this only. You cannot come out of that. Why? Because you are born in that particular family, particular caste. Okay, so you have to live with that. Okay, a child, and thus the here it is justified. The spring lost or lost spring, whatever is the topic here. Okay, lost spring, let me see, lost spring or a spring lost, whatever is there. Okay, lost spring. So here it is justified lost spring, that together they have imposed the baggage on a child, on the child, that he cannot put down, and thus they snatch. These group of people, these class of people, okay, the police, the keepers of law, the bureaucrats and politicians, they snatch, okay, they deprive these children of their childhood. Okay, before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father, and the child has nowhere to go, no any option but to remain there, and his life is also that ends up in a hell. To do anything else would mean to dare. If a child happens to think beyond his family business, it is a revolt. Like we are living in the British era. Okay, we live in British era and we want freedom. So they will these class of people, these administrators will see like that they are daring, and particularly the local politicians. Okay, and the writer says, and daring is not part of his growing up, and a child who is born in such a family is not supposed to dream, is not supposed to dare. Only our children can dare and dream. When I sense a flash of it in Mukesh, I am cheered. Mukesh is a boy living in one of these families in Firozabad, and he says he has an ambition, he has a dream, and he dares. Okay, he dares. He is a daring boy. He doesn't fear to dare. He says, I want to be a motor mechanic. Okay, he will go to a garage. Okay, dear viewers, here I will take your time. The garage, it is interesting. When I was going through that, I have written some of the pronunciations. Any of them we can use. So here it can be pronounced as garage or garage, means it can be pronounced as G is there, so G is stress, garage or garage or garage, or American one which is becoming popular nowadays, garage or garage. So a total of 5 pronunciations I have written here. I pronounce it at like garage. Okay, so and learn. So he wants to learn, but the garage is a long way from his home. I will walk, he says. Do you also dream of flying plane? A plane? He is suddenly silent. No, he says, staring at the ground. In his small murmur, there is an embarrassment that has not yet turned into regret. So this line, in his small murmur, there is an embarrassment that has not yet turned into regret. So the child says no, he dreams just of driving a car. But when he murmurs something that the writer doesn't hear, that shows a sense of shame. He is ashamed, okay, of not daring, not dreaming, and but at the same time not yet turned into regret. Mukesh doesn't regret, means he is hopeful, unlike other children who have thought that if they are born, who have their opinion, now I am born in this family and I have to, it is, God has come down to earth and God has told me that I have to continue, it is my I have to continue my family business of bangle making. I cannot think beyond that. Why? Because that is my destiny. I am destined to do that. So he is not like those children living in those families of Firozabad. He dares. He has a dream. So he doesn't regret. He is hopeful. He is content to dream of cars that sees hurtling down the streets of his town. So the cars which he sees speeding away from there, moving very fast. So he has that dream, and few airplanes fly over Firozabad. So dreaming of car itself is enough for such a boy. So here, the at the end of the story, the author has ended the story in a positive note. Why? Because a boy is there, Mukesh is there, who has started to dream. Now other children of these families will also dare to dream, and let's pray good hope, good sense prevail, okay, and they will be part of the mainstream society. And in the next video, dear viewers, we will be discussing, let me see what I have to discuss in this next video. Here it is that understanding the text, question answers, and then we'll be discussing about the language also, grammar, and then we'll be discussing about a lot of figures of speech are given there, so that also we will discuss. And then comprehension. Okay, so these are the things we will discuss. Thank you very much. God bless you, and please keep praying for me.